Sup fuckers, welcome back if you're returning. If you're here for the first time, why? I'm just gonna hop right into this. Today I'm going to be reading an email that I wrote myself when I was 16 years old and a separate email that I wrote myself when I was 17 years old. Just so like I don't get sued or anything. I'm not sponsored by this website, but there's this website called dearfutureme.com, and you can write an email to your future self, set the date that it gets sent to you in the future, and receive it. So I did that when I was 16 years old and 17 years old. So just to preface this, when I was 16 years old, I was Pentecostal. I was in a courtship, or about to be in a courtship. I hadn't seen or really spoken to my dad in 10 years. I was living with my mom, who's married to my Pentecostal stepfather, and this is the email I decided to write myself, and the next one's going to be the email from when I'm 17. There's a little bit of a difference between the two, I guess. I don't know. I haven't really read this one. I'm going to go ahead and start. Dear Future Me, hey Mom, this is 16-year-old Santana. I sent this to your email address because at the time I didn't have an email address as my own. I wasn't allowed to have one. By the way, I love you, Mama Fart. That's what I call my mom for some reason. And I still love you. I love you, Mom, even though she doesn't watch my YouTube videos because she doesn't know that I make them because I don't want to tell her. Anyways, this is yourself, parentheses, Santana. Though you probably already gathered that from the future me part. Hate myself. It is 1:39 a.m. and I'm bored, so I decided to write my future self some questions. Question number 1. Are you still in college? Damn. Starting that one off tough. Don't know how to tell you this, 16-year-old Santana, but you actually didn't even finish high school, so you did not. You're not still in college. Purdue? No. Indiana Wesleyan? What college? You dropped out of Crowley High. Did I ever grow? I'm currently 5'1" and 3/4. Yes you did, bitch. You are 5'2" and 3/4, apparently. I haven't grown since like 8th grade, so maybe I'll have grown by college. You have that going for you, minus the college part. So, did you end up being a lawyer or going to college to be a lawyer? No, you actually changed your mind because you realized that if anybody speaks to you sternly in any type of way, you cry. It's true, I don't know why I do that, and it's like completely uncontrollable. Like I can never tell when it's coming, but once it's happening, I can't stop it. It's the worst. I'm not crying because you're yelling at me. I'm not crying because I'm intimidated by you. My body is just forcing this. Remember, you wanted to be an English teacher, but they don't make enough money, so then you decided on being an art director, but then you realized that majoring art was kind of stupid and risky. You know why I said that? Because whenever I expressed an interest in wanting to major in art, my mom was supportive of it to an extent because she really liked what I would create as far as art, but anytime I mentioned art as a career, everyone would be like, oh, so you're planning on being jobless and in debt. So then you kind of just opted out for lawyer. Did blank ever come out of the closet? They did actually. They are living their best life. They left the church and they are doing awesome. I wanted to keep their name out of it because it's really not my business to share, and I guess when I was writing this I wasn't planning on broadcasting it to all 800 of my subscribers, but I want to go ahead and keep that privacy there for them. Did you ever make it to California with Jesse, or did you stay in Indiana? Shit, I forgot. So my plan when I was 16 was, so my older brother, he moved out when he was 16 and I was 12. And he lives in California with his dad. Still to this day, he still lives with his dad. And the plan was when I turned 18, I was going to move to California with my brother and he was going to teach me coding, and I was going to do coding and like use that to make money through school and stuff. Did you stay in that crazy Pentecostal church? No, no you didn't. You are so much happier than you ever thought you would be. Well, that's all I have for my 16-year-old 1 a.m. ramblings. Farewell, future me. Enjoy life, and don't do anything stupid like smoke, drink, or do drugs. Oh boy. Well. Yeah, 16-year-old Santana was very big on no smoking, no drinking, and no doing drugs. I'm still very no smoking as far as cigarettes. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that my parents were very heavy smokers. I don't drink very much anymore, but there was a point where I was drinking every day, and I'm sure I'm going to revisit at some point or another, because god damn it, bitch, you became a bartender. And don't do drugs. Let's just go ahead and move on from that one right there. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the email that I wrote myself when I was 17. Now when I was 17, I was starting to come out of my Pentecostal, conservative, shy, modest shell, but I was also a huge pick-me-ass bitch. Like a huge fucking pick-me. Guys wouldn't pick me because I was Pentecostal, so I was a huge pick-me. I'm gonna go ahead and just lay that out right now. I would put other girls down to make myself feel better because I was so insecure within myself. Not proud of it, but it happened. So if there's anything in this email that comes off as pick-me, just know I have since learned and corrected my personality from there, but can't change the past. Dear future me, today is Mom's 41st birthday. This has got to be from like 2016 because my mom's 45 now. I'm setting this 3 years from now when I'm 21, so I have some questions for you. And by you, I mean me. Ellipses? Yeah. Anyways, do you still say I do what I want on punk rock? No. No, thank God I don't say that at every single turn. Is Mom still with that shithead Brandon? See, I'm cussing. I'm coming out of my Pentecostal shell. Brandon would be my mother's husband. Yes, she still is with that shithead Brandon. Fuck you, Brandon. Has Jesse gotten published yet? I don't know. You and Jesse don't talk very much. How successful as an artist are you now? As this is being written, you have almost 800 followers on Twitter. How many do you have now? So at this time, I was really into art and I was getting back into drawing, and my mom was letting me have social media for the first time ever. She was letting me have a Twitter, but I'd have a Twitter under a fake name with no like pictures correlating with me at all, because my mom had this really oddly specific fear that old men on the internet were gonna masturbate to pictures of me. And so once I started drawing more and more, and I told her like I want to do something in art, and to be able to do something in art, it helps to have a following. So she let me create a Twitter under a fake name that I created, and I would post my art. And I had 800 followers because some people like the art, but I also did a lot of follow for follows, which is shameful. And now I don't have any followers on Twitter because not only is my art Twitter, it's been inactive probably since before I left Indiana. And my personal Twitter was deleted years ago. Twitter's too much for me. So you are not a successful artist. In fact, you don't draw at all anymore. Do you still remember the 5 Sauce concert? 5 Seconds of Summer! Michael Clifford, Luke Hemmings, Callum Hood, and the drummer.
Nobody ever remembers the drummer.
I actually didn't get to go to that concert. The week before that concert, Grandma Rose and Grandpa Joe kicked you out, made you homeless. So by the time that concert rolled around, you were neck deep in school and work, trying to get out of living in a $17 a night flea bag motel that guys were trying to break into, and it was scary. Have you gone to a 21 Pilots concert yet? No, I haven't, and I probably won't, because all of my friends roast me about liking 21 Pilots still to this day, and do you still try to wear all black? I don't try, bitch. I do. Black shorts! Right now, okay, I can already tell from what I've skimmed over from the sentence, this is where the pick-me is trying to come through, and I will explain how. Right now, you only wear eyeliner, mascara, and eyebrow fillers makeup. How much makeup do you wear now? Now, I am wearing eyebrow powder, mascara, and eyeliner. That's all I wear because I'm lazy, but I can tell by the way that I wrote this, it's because I specifically wrote out everything that I wore as makeup, because at the time I thought I was better than girls who wore foundation and contour and concealer, because I felt like I was better than them because I didn't have to do that. Stupid bitch, I hate myself. Do you have a boyfriend? You do. You've been dating for, it'll be 3 years, October 31st, 2020. You are currently 3 months away from 18 years old, and you haven't had a boyfriend in over a year, and the last one you had was a disgustingly horrible kisser, and fat, and ugly, and going bald. I just body shamed. Not proud of myself. and I apologize. However, that relationship was just awful. That relationship was just awful. It was a courtship with a fellow Pentecostal who was insecure. I was insecure, he was insecure, and he projected his insecurities onto me. For example, during our relationship, I was working at a pizza restaurant to try to pay for some braces. And he would constantly, ask me, hey, when you get braces, are you going to think that you're somehow too beautiful for me all of a sudden and, leave me because you have straight teeth because you're not, and, stuff like that. We would scream at each other. I lived in a house that only got service because, we lived in Podunk, Indiana. Service was hard to come by. Phone service was hard to come by. When we had started courting, I did not have a cell phone. I wasn't allowed to have a cell phone. I was not trusted with one. So when we would text through my mom's phone so that she can go through all our messages and make sure that we're not saying anything that we're not supposed to say. Eventually, he wanted to be able to have the freedom away from my mom for her to not go through our messages. So he bought me a phone and service, which I was appreciative for, until I realized that it was a whole big control tactic. The phone service and the phone that I had, I was only able to receive phone service if I was in one specific corner of my room. So if I wanted to go downstairs and spend time with my family, I wouldn't be able to text him, and that was a big issue. I remember specifically, at the peak of the anger before we had finally broken up, I had left my phone upstairs to charge. I wanted to go hang out with my mom downstairs, and we only hung out for 5 minutes, grabbed a snack, went back upstairs. He had blown my phone the fuck up, just absolutely full of notifications. And I picked up the phone because he was blowing my phone up, calling me. I answered. He's like, what were you doing? I was like, I was talking to my mom, chill out. And I remember specifically him saying, what exactly did you say with your mom and how did you say it? And it was at that point when I realized that it was kind of over. I was cool with him telling me that I couldn't watch any type of entertainment that contained a man showing his shoulders or abdomen or legs or bare arms or any man that's more attractive than him. I couldn't watch any shows with suggestive sex scenes. Example, I couldn't fucking watch Friends. He wanted to get married at 18 years old. He stuck his tongue down my throat before I was ready for that kind of kiss. That's why it says disgustingly horrible kisser. And he was going bald, but he can't control that, so hopefully he's better now. I don't know, he's a cop and he just got engaged, I think. ACAB. How many boyfriends have you had since today? I'm really disappointed in my future self if I literally haven't had at least one boyfriend by the time I'm 21. Wow. Bitch, you've had 2 boyfriends since you moved out. The first one was a cheater, and it was a very toxic relationship on both of your ends. He was a manipulative liar, and then you became an untrusting, crazy psycho. But now you're good with the boyfriend of 3 years. You're good with Blake. You love each other. You got this cool apartment. It's all good in the neighborhood. You're doing better than ever. So I haven't done this yet, but I'm planning on dyeing my hair blue. Do you still do funky colors? They're super faded. But this was purple and this was red, and I want to touch them up. But yeah, so at this point, my mom converted to Pentecostalism between 12 and a half and 13 years old. And at 9 years old, my mom started letting me highlight my hair. I wasn't allowed to dye my hair as a Pentecostal. I always really, really wanted to. And what 17-year-old Santana didn't expect to happen was I went so crazy with the hair dye. I was at one point just dyeing my hair every single week, completely bleaching and stripping and then re-dyeing every single week until my hair fell out. My hair went from about this length when I started dyeing it to this length when I stopped without me ever cutting it, just pure damage, to this length when I fucked it up by cutting it in the bathroom because I had to cut it all off. So yeah, you still do funky colors, bitch, but you moderate it now because you don't want to lose your hair again. Have you ever smoked weed? Bitch. 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 Bitch, you don't even fucking know. How's David doing? David is my little brother. He's doing well. He's in a university. He's in a long-term relationship with his girlfriend who is also in school, who also has parents who hate him for being Mexican. So, there's that. Do you still hate Levi and Olivia? Levi and Olivia are my younger step siblings. They are the spawn of my mother's husband, Brandon. I think it would be weird for me as a 22-year-old to say that I still hate these children, especially since I haven't seen them since I was 15. So no, I don't still hate them. I don't know them anymore. I think that's all the questions I have for myself. I hope I still have this email when I'm 21. Between 16 and 17, my brother and I got back in contact with my dad and decided that we were gonna see him and the rest of the family in California, and so my dad needed a place to send the airplane tickets to, and so he created an email for me, and this was the email that he created for me, and this is still the email that I use to this day as an adult. Anyways, today is your birthday.
It's not.
That's just when this was sent. You better be going on a road trip to Vegas like you always wanted to with Amber. Oh shit, Amber! Amber and I were really good friends. She was my cousin's ex-girlfriend who my aunt kind of took in as a second daughter. And we became friends for some reason over Snapchat, and became really good friends when I moved to Texas, and then we're actually homeless together. But then a bunch of stuff that happened that I'm not gonna get into happened, and you guys are no longer friends. All right, well, I'm done. This is your 17-year-old self signing off. P.S. Are you taller than 5'1"? Clearly I forgot that I already asked myself that one in the first one. Oh, gosh. Again, this next statement is fat shaming. My sincerest apologies to anybody who this hurts or offends. That is not my intention by reading this. However, at the time, I did and still do have a mother that tells me that if I get over 128 pounds, I should starve myself. So kind of had those issues with gaining weight and having the thought of being fat. So I apologize if this offends you, and I understand that if it does. 17-year-old Santana was shitty, and like I said, I can't change the past. I can only learn in the future. So with that being said, also, you weren't supposed to get fat. I also just remembered one of the reasons that I was so dead set on not gaining weight after I moved out was because when I was a teenager, like many teenagers, I had a very fast metabolism. I was a bottomless pit. I could eat whatever I want and gained no weight. But my mom's husband's daughter, my stepsister, she was always a really heavy child. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it was an issue with my stepdad. He didn't like that he had a heavy daughter and my mom had a skinny daughter, and so he would always tell me, as soon as I move out, I'm gonna get fat and ugly and nobody's gonna want me. As soon as once that metabolism slows down, you're gonna get fat and ugly and nobody's gonna want you, and my daughter's gonna be skinny and tall and have a perfect shape and everyone's gonna want her, which is super fucking weird to think about that a father said that about his daughter. But if you are still 5'1", oh god. If you are still 5'1" and weigh more than 122, then stop eating and go running, you pig. Yeah, I think that's wwhy I starve myself when I get over 118 pounds. Who thought this video was gonna turn into a therapy session? Not me. Not me, I didn't. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? This is so weird talking to my future self. Anyways, I hope the braces worked and you're not fat, broke, single, and ugly. Oh, and happy 21st birthday. Teenage Santana was the worst. She's such a bitch. God, you're such a bitch. I'm glad I'm not like that anymore. This was weird. I'm pretty sure I wrote another Dear Future Me email to myself, but I think I set it for me to get it when I'm like 25, and I'm 22 right now, so who knows where I'll be in 3 years. But this was really fucking weird. Thanks for joining me on this uncomfortable journey, and I'm sorry that I had to force you through my childhood trauma. Okay, thanks, bye!